Hi guys, thanks for clicking on the video today. Today we're going to take a look at using the Tempest and all the rare attachments and seeing if they actually make a difference and if you should be putting them on your epic weapons like the Tempest, who's fully automatic. Let's see what kind of impact they make, especially since some of the rare attachments modifications they actually increase durability burn rate. So is it worth actually burning through your durability? Is it worth actually burning your durability faster using these attachments? Let's find out. Again, if you guys are new here, I go by NickyT. I love creating tech, gaming, and PC related build content, and I honestly just love creating content on our creators. And if you guys could drop me a like if you enjoyed this video or you found value, let me know down in the comments. What kind of rare attachments are you guys actually using? Which ones do you find the most value in? And which ones do you guys think are worth actually crafting? And as you're watching this video, please drop a like, hype this one up if you can so it can reach more people, and definitely subscribe if you want to see more content like this. All right guys, let's jump right in. Okay, so for my testing here, we're going to use the Tempest, which aka is one of my favorite guns in this game. I love using this gun. I love the way it feels, just being able to put DPS down. You know, you can, with no magazine, you can put 25 rounds down and reload pretty fast and just keep getting pressure onto the, like in PvP. And I really love that. And it's the only gun that really feels that way, like an actual assault rifle. So I really enjoy that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here, which is about 6 meters away. Same spot I do all my testing by this little rock. I think right here is a pretty good way to see recoil patterns and try to keep them in a controlled scenario. So we're just going to let the Tempest rip and see what it does with no attachments. Okay, so first things first, you see the Tempest has both an S pattern, so it goes up about 4 bullets and it goes right, left, right, and it just continues that pattern, and it goes very high up if you don't control it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put on Compensator 3, which is 60% per shot dispersion, 30% max shot dispersion, and 20% durability burn rate. So what that means is that it's actually going to increase how fast your weapon degrades by 20%, that's pretty bad. So let's see. And I mean, if anything, barely an increase. Like, remember the bullets were going up to here. So, I mean, it did make a difference. I'm actually surprised that it did. But I don't think it's worth burning your durability by 20% for that. This is one that I have high hopes for. Muzzle Break 3. So 25% reduced vertical recoil and 25% horizontal, but again 20% durability burn rate. We're just gonna let this one rip, and immediately look at how big of a difference that is. That's about half of what it did without it. And I'll put this one back up as reference. But we're hitting the top of the door. You guys see the difference there? Grab some more ammo. Now I'm gonna put it back on and you guys can see the difference again. So it still has a pretty aggressive S curve, so it's not doing much there, but it's doing a lot for vertical, which I think that's pretty good. That's looking like it's about a 30% reduction. Now let's take that off and let's do Vertical Grip 3. So the really nice thing about Vertical Grip 3 is 40% vertical reduction, and it actually increases your ADS by 30%, and you don't have any increased durability, or durability burn, I should say. So there's no negative for using this. Let's see if it's faster, actually. I mean, you get the gun up more faster. I'd have to look at this frame by frame in order to be able to tell you guys if that's worth it from an ADS perspective. Okay, so we're gonna test it out. Let me put up a control burst here so you guys can see. I'm gonna start at this hinge right there. Or the brace, I should say, on the door. Okay, now we're gonna let it rip. So look at that. That's a pretty significant like decrease. That's literally, I would say that's close to 40%. Go by the rock, make sure, yep, 6 meters. That one was a little bit better. I do notice if you aim down, your character won't go up as high than when you start like right here, watch. That looks pretty similar. Maybe I was wrong. Okay. That one that looks like it has a pretty good reduction though. So now let's stack. Or actually, this one you can't actually test with the Tempest. So I'm gonna actually have to leave that one out of the test for now for the Tempest. Now let's stack muzzle brake 3 and vertical grip 3. So you're getting, what is it, 40% vertical and 25. So you're getting 65% vertical recoil reduction. Dang, you guys see that? Now, keep in mind, this is what it did look like. Look at that reduction. That's like half. Maybe more than half. Oh, yeah, you're beaming people if you do that. That's without controlling recoil too. Now watch when you control recoil. I mean, whoever you're shooting at is gone. I'm gonna control recoil with no attachments. I mean, look at that. Look at that reduction. So I think if you're gonna run the Tempest, that's really good. Now, with that durability burn rate, let's see how much of an impact. If you grab a muzzle brake 2, I'm really curious with this. So muzzle brake 2, because it's 2020, and then you have 40% vertical. So you still have 60%, right? Instead of 65%, and then you don't get the actual durability negative effect of it actually burning it faster. So let's test that. Okay, so we're gonna just let it rip here, I think. See what it does. I mean, that's identical. Easily identical. So I'm gonna put it back on. Maybe a difference, but I'll tell you what, that slight difference right there isn't worth 20% durability burn rate. Yeah, I think for my testing, the way that I would run the Tempest is muzzle brake 2 with vertical grip 3. Now we got to try out this stable stock 3 to see if it does anything. And we can use the Bettina for that. Okay, we're gonna use the Bettina for this test. We're gonna do nothing on it. You get a control. 6 meters. Start here. So it's pretty aggressive. Just go straight to the right. I didn't even know it did that. So let's do stable stock 3, which is 50% recoil recovery time, 50% dispersion recovery time, 20% increase equip time, 20% increase unequipped time. So it's just a little bit slower to take out like this. So it takes longer to get the gun out. I was not expecting that. Okay. So it looks like dispersion time really has an impact on the Bettina, which if you guys seen some of my other testing videos, I may have to go back and retest those now with the Bettina. Look how much of a reduction that is. That's crazy. Okay, so let's do muzzle brake 3. So that actually does a better job than muzzle brake 3. I ran out of ammo on the last one. I am actually impressed by how much that stable stock made a difference. Okay, now we're gonna test vertical grip 3. Doesn't seem to really do much. Interesting. So I think honestly I might have to make a video for every gun and using every attachment, and that's wild. Now let's stack muzzle brake 3 and vertical grip 3. Okay, that made a really big impact, but let's compare that just to stable stock 3. I mean, just stable stock 3 alone is getting us there. I'm so amazed by that because all of the stocks have been terrible. Now let's stack all 3 on top of each other. Okay, well, there's your answer. Now I'm curious because dispersion seems to actually make a difference on this gun. So I want to put on Compensator 3 by itself and see what it does. Okay, so Compensator 3 does not affect it that much. But what does it do with stable stock and Compensator 3? Okay, so that's pretty good, but I think that's pretty much just the stable stock on its own. So now what if you do Compensator 3, vertical grip 3, stable stock 3? It's not as good as muzzle brake 3. Well, there you go. There's your answer. If you're going to use the Bettina, if you want absolutely the best control, you need to make sure you're using stable stock. I wish I could put this on the Tempest, but that's probably why they don't allow you to, because it would become a laser beam. I was not expecting that. Now I'm curious if you just put bonus content What happens if you just put a stable stock 1 on the Bettina? I mean, it helps, but it's nowhere near this. That's insane. I can't believe that one attachment does that. Now let's do the same test that we did in the last one, where we take muzzle brake. Muzzle brake 2, so you have no negatives, with stable stock 3. It's about as good. It's not as good as... I mean, honestly, I feel like it's just as good. Let's do muzzle brake 3 to compare. I mean, muzzle brake 3 is slightly better, but I would still do the without having the increased durability burn. And then let's do vertical grip 3. Yeah, there you go. That's your setup. No negative, other than takes a little bit longer to equip, but this gun's slow anyways. And I would run it stable stock 3, vertical grip 3, muzzle brake 3. Now, I wonder if you can get the same effect by grabbing one of these. Stable stock 2. Now I'm really curious if this is gonna have the same effect or not. Okay, so we're gonna do another control. Nothing on it. Okay, and now we're just gonna run stable stock 2, which is 35 and 35. I mean, not bad. Honestly, I'm gonna need to do a video on this separately. Muzzle brake 2 with stable stock 2. Yeah. And vertical grip. 30% vertical reduction, 20% vertical, so 50% vertical reduction. Not bad. It's definitely not as good as blue. This is a clear indicator that I need to make a video on every one of these guns. So my recommendation, if you're going to run any of the rare weapons, then you're gonna run rare modifications. You're gonna run muzzle brake 3 with vertical grip 3. Now I'm wondering if this makes a difference on the Rattler. Let's see. Pick up some ammo. Okay, let's shoot the Rattler, just stock. Okay. Now let's put on the stable stock 3 to see if it actually does something or it just really impacts the Bettina. I mean, it's a little bit better. I'm gonna say it only really impacts the Bettina. That very heavy probably impacts the anvil if you could put it on it. It's not worth putting it on the Rattler, I'll tell you that. What if we do vertical grip, muzzle brake 3, and stable stock 3? It gives it more of a circle. That's for sure. Instead of a line. But it's not worth putting all of these attachments that probably cost more than the gun itself and putting them on there. Okay, so there you have it. If you're gonna run, oh, uh-oh, my Tempest disappeared. Well, if you're gonna run, you're gonna want to run it like this. Oh, hopefully my attachments don't disappear forever. There we go. If you're gonna run any of these attachments, you need to combine vertical grip 3 with muzzle brake 3, which just continues to be the same thing that I've said in all of my past testing. These are the two best attachments, no matter if it's common or uncommon or rare. And what we found out, if you're running the Bettina, then you need to use staple stock 3. And that's going to give you your biggest recoil reduction, but that's more case specific to just the Bettina. Alright guys, well hopefully you enjoyed another testing video. It helps you make decisions on what to use if you're going to use the rare modifications. Again, I think it's going to be that vertical stock, or it's going to be vertical grip 3 and it's going to be muzzle brake 3. So again, if this video helps you, definitely drop a like, subscribe, and definitely drop me some comments down below what kind of attachments you guys are using, and honestly, what's your favorite weapon? Personally, mine is the Tempest. I love using the Tempest. I love the feeling of how much DPS it puts down, and I think it's one of the best weapons for PvP. So again, if you guys are new here, I go by NickyT, and I love creating tech, gaming, and PC related build content, and I'll see you guys on the next video.